Leaders often talk about authenticity. They want people to be real. They want honest conversations. They want direct feedback. They want teams to stop pretending everything is fine when it is not. But there is a problem. Authenticity is often misunderstood. Some people use the phrase, "I'm just being authentic," when what others experience is bluntness, carelessness, emotional dumping, or even bullying. That is not genuineness. In the Tiger's 6 principles, genuineness is not permission to say whatever you think, however you want to say it. Genuineness is respectfully sincere, frank, and forthright communication. It is the behavior of putting forward your perspective clearly enough to be useful and respectfully enough to keep the conversation constructive. One of the biggest misunderstandings is that genuineness and authenticity are the same thing. They overlap, but they are not identical. Authenticity often asks, "Am I being true to myself?" Genuineness asks a different question. Am I communicating sincerely and respectfully enough for shared understanding to improve? That distinction matters, because a person can be very authentic and still be harmful. They can say, "This is just who I am. I'm just direct. I'm just telling the truth. I don't sugarcoat things." But if their communication humiliates people, shuts people down, or makes disagreement unsafe, then it is not Tiger's genuineness. Genuineness requires respect. Without respect, authenticity can become bullying with better branding. Another misunderstanding is that genuineness means one person owns the truth. But in real workplace situations, what people call reality is often perspective. There is an old story about blind men and an elephant. One person touches the tail and says, "It is like a rope." Another touches the leg and says, "It is like a tree." Another touches the side and says, "It is like a wall." Each person is describing something real from where they stand, but none of them has the whole picture alone. That is why genuineness matters. Genuineness is not one person declaring, "My perspective is the truth." It is the respectfully sincere, frank, and forthright exchange of perspectives, so the group can see more of the whole picture. This is especially important in leadership, decision-making, and problem-solving. When people cannot speak genuinely, leaders lose access to what people actually see. Someone may know the timeline is unrealistic. Someone may see a customer problem coming. Someone may know the process will break downstream. Someone may recognize that the group is agreeing too quickly. But if the culture punishes different perspectives, people learn to stay quiet. They nod in the meeting. They comply on the surface. They save the real conversation for the hallway, the parking lot, or the private message. That may look like alignment, but it is not alignment. It is silence. And silence can be expensive. This is where genuineness protects a group from groupthink. Groupthink happens when belonging depends on agreement. People stop testing assumptions. They stop asking hard questions. They stop naming cause and effect. They stop exploring impact. They stop offering the perspective they actually have. And when that happens, the group may feel united, but it becomes less intelligent. Here is the line I want leaders to remember. When people must agree to belong, the group may gain silence, but it loses intelligence. That loss of intelligence affects decisions. It affects problem solving. It affects innovation. It affects whether leaders understand the real impact of their choices. Genuineness is also not the same as bluntness. Bluntness can be honest, but it can also be careless. Avoidance can feel polite, but it can leave people confused. Genuineness holds a better standard. It asks us to be sincere enough to mean what we say, frank enough that the message is not hidden, forthright enough that people are not left guessing, and respectful enough that the communication remains useful. That is the difference. Harshness creates defense. Avoidance creates confusion. Genuineness creates usable perspective. So what does genuineness look like in daily workplace behavior? It sounds like, "I see this differently. I may only have part of the picture, but here's what I am seeing. That decision may work from one angle, but here is what it creates downstream. I agree with the goal, but I think the process needs more discussion. I want to be respectful and direct. This is the issue I think we need to address." Those statements are not attacks. They are contributions. They help the group think. They help leaders see what they could not see alone. They help teams move from partial perspective to shared understanding. That is why genuineness is one of the Tiger's 6 principles. Strong teams do not need people to be performative. They do not need people to pretend agreement. They do not need people to weaponize authenticity. They need people who can contribute respectfully, sincerely, frankly, and forthrightly, so the group can understand more, think better, and make stronger decisions. Genuineness is what we put out. It is the quality of our contribution. It helps teams see more of the whole picture before decisions harden and problems grow. If this way of thinking about workplace behavior is useful to you, I invite you to learn more about Tiger's 6 principles. Tiger's 6 principles founder licensing gives consultants, fractional executives, HR leaders, OD professionals, and internal change leaders a ready-to-use behavior-based organizational development system for helping leaders and teams improve the daily behaviors that shape workplace culture. Visit tigers6principles.com to download the licensing brief and learn how founder licensing works.